Good afternoon, everybody. Give me a microphone. Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talks MLB update. How's everybody doing today? I don't see us live on Facebook. I apologize. We'll continue to try to get that live for you guys. I want to welcome everybody watching today. On this show, of course, is part of the McGrath streaming podcast network, and we're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I want to welcome all of those. You can see some of the groups scrolling, our favorite groups scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Of course, as always, John Gonzalez from the Sports Authorities, Greg Rawlings from America's Pastime, The Love for Baseball. What else? I'm sorry, Bo. Bo. Well, Bo Crouch. Ken and Flo over at Bottom Line Sports, Let's Talk Sports, and of course Ken Krause over at Golf Buzz Sports of all sorts. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of Ocean City, Maryland, especially the Sports Corner every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Well, guys, we haven't been on it a few weeks for the Major League Baseball update with the holidays here and whatnot. I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. Hope you had a great one and a safe one and made memories. But there's been a lot of baseball since we were last on. A few signings. I mean, look at Tucker's still out there. Bellinger's still out there. Some of the top pitchers are still out there. We're waiting to see if the shoe drops on Scoble. And some other things. So we'll see what happens. And I'm still trying to get this shared to what's funny is you can get there. If you click on my profile, you'll get there. It's so annoying the way Facebook does things these days. But in any event, we can talk free agent updates today. We can talk WBC. I want to talk a little bit about the WBC coming up in just a few short months now. One of my favorite. I mean, really, one of my favorite events, international events that what I wanted to do. So I'm sharing two different. I got to tell you, the production value on this show is just unbelievable, isn't it? Let me try this one more time to get this live on. More time. All right, guys, we're done. I think we're done. Okay, who's out there with us today? What do you want to talk about? Is what we want to talk about for sure. Free agency since we last talked. Let's see what's happened in Major League Baseball since we last chatted. We're going to go from this point backwards, and we'll stop when we get to where we've been already. Tatsuya Amai, the Houston Astros have an agreement on a free agent contract. He got some big dollars, if I'm not mistaken. What did he get? 3-year deal for $63 million. One of the top pitchers in the international bucket, if you will, this year. We've already had a couple of those guys sign as well previously, which we'll touch on. Now we're having internet issues, so this is just a great show so far. The Angels agreed with Kirby Yates on a 1-year deal. That ought to help them a lot. The Angels just flying through the postseason. Anthony Rendon, by the way, officially no longer with the Angels or anyone else in Major League Baseball, as they let him go. And he becomes one of the biggest busts in Major League history. $250+ million contract he signed, and oh my God, one of the worst signings ever. This is a guy who said he doesn't even like playing, doesn't even like his job. Oh my God. The Orioles re-signed Zach Eflin, which is not a surprise, to a 1-year contract. Hunter Henry signs with the Cubs. Tyler Soderholm signs with the Angels, 7 years. Left fielder Tyler Soderholm with the getting out in front of free agency. Please don't come back in 2 years and say this is obsolete, Tyler. 7 years, $86 million extension. Pete Fairbanks and the Marlins agreed to a contract. Ryan O'Hearn signed with the Pirates, 2 years, $29 million. I'm having a lot of internet issues. I don't know what's going on here today. It must be the post-holiday blues for the internet companies as well as me. I'm just getting irritated here. Nothing's working. Jeepers. Creepers. Anyway, let me get back to it. Every time I go to someplace, it says, you want to wait for this page? Athletics traded for Jeff McNeil. The Mets get rid of one of the most popular players, former batting champion Jeff McNeil. Has been terribly productive the last couple of years. Has had some issues in the clubhouse with their star player, Francisco Lindor. So Jeff McNeil shown the door. The Red Sox acquire Wilson Contreras in a trade for the Cardinals. Nice player. Is this going to make them sufficiently better? I'm not sure. Another Asian player in Sungmun Song, and the I apologize if I said this badly. Padres finalized a $15 million 4-year contract. We got a 3-way deal with the Pirates, Astros, and Tampa. The Pirates get second baseman Brandon Lowe. Listen, the Pirates made a couple of decent moves here to get some bat and some pop in their lineup. Is it going to significantly improve their chances in the Central? I'm not sure. They also get Mason Montgomery and Jake Magnum, an outfielder in that trade. The Rays get outfielder Jacob Melton and right-hander Anderson Betro, and the Astros get right-hander Mike Burrows. The Orioles acquired Shane Baz from the Rays. And what else? Tyler Austin, former Yankee farmhand, goes to the Cubs. And I think we're pretty much caught up after that. So, again, not a lot of movement because we're still sitting on some of the top free agents still sitting out there. Let me start with the pitchers because I didn't look at them. Dylan Cease is off the market, but Valdez, Suarez, Michael King did resign with the Padres. Yankees really wanted to get him back, and I wanted to see that happen. Zach Gallen's still out there. It's kind of a weak. This is kind of a weak free agent class. Kyle Tucker's still out there. Bellinger's still out there. Other than that, Bregman's still out there. Bo Bichette, who now the Yankees have some renewed interest in. They've talked to him about potentially moving to third base, which would hopefully, potentially at least solve their issues. Second base. Listen, if you need a second baseman or first baseman, these are weak prospects. Anyway, we got a few people here. Michael's here. Check out Michael Dighton Edwards' articles on TGI Sports Talk and my personal page and others that I share too. Michael does some great stuff. Check him out. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for the show. No need to thank me. I'm out here having some fun. Soderstrom's a great extension for the A's. It is until, he's unhappy. I don't know what the terms are. I'm all for these guys re-signing guys early, getting them at a good price. 7 years, $86 million, for instance. The Yankees were talking about doing that with Volpe now with his arm injuries and his struggles last year. That's not going to happen. But some other teams have done this. But I don't want to see these players coming back in 2 years and saying, I want to renegotiate. And I'm not going to give you opt out every 2 years, for instance. I'll give you 7 years. I'd give you 11 years. Solder home. I'm only using him as an example. I don't know what he wants. At 120 million. But don't come back to me and say it's obsolete now. Or I want opt-outs every 2 years. I will make your life easy. I will make you set for life. Because if I give you 100 million, if I give you 86 million, that's kind of life-altering money in most of the free world. Even with people who are doing well. It would certainly be life-altering money to me. I shouldn't have to make you secure for the rest of your life. And then you come back every 2 years and say, I want more. Good afternoon, Rick Sherlock. Good to have you with us, buddy. Pirates are doing all they can. You got a feeling the Pirates may be the wild card team this year? Like the Marlins 2 years ago? Yeah, Michael, I don't know. Let's take a quick look at their let me just take a quick look at their depth chart, shall we? So far. Again, there's still a lot of winter to go. And I got a feeling some of the slow movement is because of the uncertainty in the labor. With the labor talks or lack thereof. So here's your starting rotation. Paul Skeens, who top 2 pitchers in baseball. Jared Jones, not bad. Mitch Keller, number 3. I'd rather see him at number 4. And Bubba Chandler and Bailey Falter, again, don't really light up my life here. I think the bullpen still needs some help. In fact, thank you, ESPN. They still have David Bednar as the closer there, by the way. I'm not sure how much I should rely on this. Hold on. Let me get to Jesus. I am so tired of ESPN too. I'm just in a mood. James, if you're watching, sorry, I've been in a mood for days here. Now these guys are putting me in another one because they can't give me an updated depth chart here in January. I still got guys on a Pirates depth chart that haven't been there in freaking months. Let me go back to their starting rotation because I could be wrong. Good God. That's frustrating. So Chandler, Ashcroft, the other 2 guys I mentioned probably are not there. I'm not crazy about their bullpen necessarily. Catching needs some help. First base now, they're probably... I'm just not a fan here. Brandon Lowe, I love at second base. He's a nice player. Got some pop. Nick Gonzalez at shortstop. Their outfield with Brian Reynolds, I kind of like. O'Neal Cruz, if he continues to improve and stay healthy, that's not a bad move. Magnum will supply some depth out there. Again, not a huge fan of this Pittsburgh team still. Buck may still be available. I hope he is. Hot stoves have been cold. It's funny, Rick. I don't know what's going on recently with the internet here, but even on the TV, all of a sudden it'll just kick out. I got to go reboot the router. Jesus. First world problems plague me to no end. Where was I? Cold is not even a mention. I mean, good God. I mean, the top 2 free agents out there, arguably, I guess you could put Schwarber up there. To me, the top 2 free agents are still out there, Tucker and Bellinger. And Valdez among the pitchers. I think it's the labor talks that are really slowing things down here and not knowing what's going to happen with the cap and all of that. So take a look. I mean, and we just went through these. The Yankees have made several small moves. The Mets, the same thing. I mean, they replaced Alonso with Polanco, who's never played anything at first base. Not sure if that's a great plan. Absolutely. We'll get it up tonight, Michael, for sure. New article from Michael at Dighton Edwards. If somebody gives Michael $86 million, you'll kind of be feeling like I'm secure, just thinking. Yeah, most people would be, Michael, but in Major League Baseball and all sports, I'm just in a bad place today. You know, I normally sit here, and I still believe this. You're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. Okay? But don't sign a contract that says you're worth X amount over 7 years or 11 years or 15 years, and then come back to me every 2 years and say, I want more. Bob down the street got more. Sign 1 year contracts. I'm okay with that. I'll continue to pay you what you think, if I'm willing to meet your price, what you think you're worth, if I think it matches. Sign 1 year contracts. I am fine paying you whatever it takes. If you're worth $11 million this year and you play well and you think you're worth $25 million next year, and I think I agree, well, I'll pay you happily. And you're worth that money because I was willing to give it to you. Now you need to go earn it. But don't let me make you secure for the rest of your life. And then you come back bitching and moaning every 2 years and tell me I don't feel respected. Right? Pitching's good. They need bats. I mean, they signed 2 bats. Or trade in and sign for bats. I'm not the biggest O'Hearn fan, but he can put pop. He can give you some pop. I like Brandon Lowe. Not crazy about his defense, but I like his bat. I don't know where the offense is coming from the rest of this lineup. And fortunately, they do play in the NL Central, which is relatively weak, right? I mean, the Brewers ran away with it last year, but the Brewers are no powerhouse. And I think they'll come back to the pack a little bit this year. I still expect the Reds. To me, the Reds are the most talented team in that division. Again, not a lot of big moves to improve themselves this winter, but we'll see what happens there. Where are the Smith and Joneses today? Dazinski, I guess. Watch him. We'll keep an eye on him. Michael, you're not a Pirates fan, are you? ESPN is late. Isn't that awful? Their site is junk. There's no reason I should be going in there and seeing Brian Hayes as the third baseman for the Pirates, and a closer who got traded in freaking August or July to the Yankees is listed as their closer. You guys are ESPN. Listen up. You are the laziest people I've ever seen. I pay you a lot of money for ESPN Plus, and outside of the documentaries, you guys suck. Oh, you're getting the full attitude, Keith, today. I like Magnum. I do like Magnum. I think Magnum's got some upside, too, for the Pirates, too. That's a good trade. That's a good trade for them. Mark Mancini may be helping. There is the Pirates lineup. I mean, it's terrible. We need a better place. How about CBS? What if I go to CBS is usually pretty good. I'm probably going back to CBS because they at least freaking they try. It's too funny. I can't even fight baseball now. Oh, my God. You can't make this stuff up, man. There we go, MLB. Let's see how their depths are. Right now we're rating sites because this is how bad things have gotten here. Where's the depth charts? Come on. Don't piss me off here. Who was I looking for? Boy, I got an attitude and a half. I'm warned you guys ahead of time. Henry Davis, Joey Bart. Okay, that's good. Horowitz at first base. This is looking better. Brandon Lowe, Nick Gonzalez, Torrillo at the third base. This sounds right. Magnum in left field. Sounds right. O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds. Perfect. This sounds much better. Andy Rodriguez, the designated hitter. Skeens, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller again. If one of those young pitchers that you've talked about, Michael, can step up, well, then I'd be much happier to see somebody else. Mitch Keller's a decent major league pitcher. I don't want him into my number 3 spot. I just don't. Ranger Suarez is the other guy. I'm a little surprised hasn't signed yet. And by the way, I'm doing a lot of stuttering today. Try not to get too upset, I guess. We're not that far away. We're 6 weeks from spring training. And there are no labor talks. That's part of the problem. I just had a bet, well, in our group chat on McGrath, the McGrath streaming podcast, I shared the same clip I shared of Kirby Smart, and we got talking about money. He's talking about the portal, and we have to talk about money. And I'm so upset about sports in general right now. I know we're talking baseball, but it applies to everything. There's just so little sport in sport. We talk about labor talks in baseball. We talk about NIL and portal, the transfer portal, and the things that have nothing to do with the actual game, right? Arrests in football off the field. And, it gets me into these moods where I want to say, I'm going to do a baking shows from now on. No sports. We're going to talk baking. I don't know how to bake, so I got to learn how to do that. I'll get Jesse Palmer on because he hosts all these baking shows my wife watches, and he doesn't bake either, she tells me. So. I mean, I get to this. I got myself on this little rant because, I said the last time we had a threatened work stoppage that would affect games. So we had one a couple of springs ago. If spring training games get canceled, I am not going to go off my rocker. I promise you. But if we lose real games to any kind of work stoppage, and right now we're looking at a lockout, not a strike. Remember, these are two different things. Sorry, I didn't have all my lights on. Actually, I think there's a few light bulbs loose other places. I said, and this is probably going back, I swear, I was still Mayfield, 2012, 2011. There was a very close having a work stoppage in June or July of that season. And I said, if they go out, I'm done. Might have been even before that. It could have been 2008. I think it was. I think it was before the 2010 season. It's probably in the single digits in the 2000s. But whatever. If we lose real games ever again to a strike, I'm never coming back. I said that in 1994. We haven't lost any real games since 1994. Well, we lost maybe. No, they made them up, I believe, the next year because they did lock the players out in the spring. 30 years ago, I said, one more strike that cost me games, I'm done. It would have been the third or fourth time in my lifetime, 1994, that we lost a season. And I'm getting that way everywhere. I apologize. So back to baseball. Let's talk about Pirates. The Pirates. Yeah, right. You got to put some names up I can read, Paul. Hey, hello, Sonia. How are you? Good to have you with us. Happy 26th. Happy New Year to you, too. Sorry I got an attitude today, man. I don't know what it is. Some of this stuff, I mean, I don't want to get into college football because we're doing a Major League Baseball show, but I guess I'll save all my rants for Sunday because, this should be a great, fucking, I'm sorry. Agree with the Reds. Love Francona, their manager. You guys, listen, I'm surprised he came back to the Reds with the health issues that he's had. He had some serious scares. So Terry Francona is a really good manager. As a Yankee fan, playing against him with the Red Sox and him winning a couple World Series when nobody else had done that in like 100 years, he did a pretty good job. I don't know what that is, but thank you. Thank you, or I'm sorry. Who is a Pirate fan other than Mark Mancini? Blade could surprise for the Reds. Who knows, Paul? It's too early for me to look at rosters. I mean, I've got in my head that there's going to be a work stoppage, and I'm sorry, guys, if not a work stoppage. If spring training is interrupted, I'm not going nuclear, which I just said the word wrong again. My wife has been berating me all day for my speech, lack thereof. But will you cost me real games? We'll do the Friday baking update. We'll have to change all the Their website manager quit. Did I have one? I didn't even know they had one. This has been this way for like 10 years, man. Great signing for the Reds. Zero risk. Zero risk signings are great. We'll see if he makes a difference. Sonia wishing everybody a happy New Year. Best baseball site is Friday at 3 p.m. TGI Sports Talk. There you go. Problem is, I've got to get information somewhere, right? And reliable information. This is the other thing with the internet. I mean, there's plenty of places to go other than ESPN. And there's a few that I use. I really like The Athletic, although since the New York Times, and they're I don't want to get political either. But since the New York Times bought The Athletic 3 years ago, I guess, they stripped that thing so badly. It was a great sports site. Great articles, great information, up to date. Now there's still some good people there. Especially on the college football side, but they fired all their best writers. Not all of them. There's a few left, but the Times is a rag, and they're trying to turn everything they touch into a rag as well. Good morning, Bob. Happy birthday to Bob Gladue. Can never say his name, Bob. I apologize. Came out of the stands as a Boston Patriots game at Harvard Stadium, signed a contract minutes before their home opener against the Dolphins, and made a tackle on the opening kickoff. Go Pats. Good to see you, Bob. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. We got a lot of Happy New Year's going on here. I know, it's hard. You know what, Sonia? I don't make New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. My only resolution every single year is to get to the next year. I want to be a better person all the time, right? But I can't get 2 days into the new year in sports without a whole plethora of nonsense in pro football, in college football, in Major League Baseball, in the NBA, everywhere we look. I want to talk sports, and I have to come here and talk about players getting arrested and contract disputes and NIL and portal money and Lane Kiffin, which we don't talk about in the Major League Baseball update, but still. Beats me down. So my New Year's resolution may be to give up sports. Please, brownies. I would be a lot more calm, probably, Sonia. It's just been one of those days. It's been one of those weeks. I'm upset about a lot of stuff in sports this week. I stayed away from sports until Friday night, almost all week, till the semifinals got started in college. But agreed about sports. That's what I've been trying to shine a light on in the articles, and you've done a good job of shining that light. We need to get some common sense people running the stuff. You enjoy Jesse Palmer. I found out he can't cook. Then I'm watching Jesse Palmer and Kirk Cousins in a commercial for sports clubs. I used to go to sports clubs. I'm pretty sure neither Jesse Palmer or Kirk Cousins ever got their hair cut in the sports clubs. Call me crazy, but I doubt that's ever happened. That's what had me drop basketball. It's going to be everything, though, Rick. I mean, I hate to be such a Debbie Downer. I'm trying to get myself out of this by the time we get to Sunday's show. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what got me into this place on Sunday's show, because it doesn't involve Major League Baseball. It involves my NFL team. And if you follow the NFL, then you'll know what I'm talking about, which we'll get into on Sunday. But it just got my week off to you got to be freaking kidding me. And I knew it was coming, quite frankly, because I'd heard rumors about this for weeks, and no reliable sources had put anything up about it until, the proverbial crap hit the proverbial fan, and whatever. We'll talk about it more then. I'm almost out of there. I'm going to see my granddaughters again. I've seen my granddaughters a lot since Christmas. Jeez. We were with them they're just this week. So we had them obviously over the Christmas holiday, and then New Year's Eve we were with them. We were with them yesterday for brunch. We were with them. We're going to have them tonight, and their parents go out for dinner. We're going to have them tomorrow when we celebrate my stepdaughter's birthday. So that will get me into a good mood, hopefully, for Sunday, as I get to get tired out by their pranks. What was the Panther thing here? Sorry. Good Panthers, LOL. I left it. Oh, go Panthers. I gotcha. We'll talk about them on Sunday, too. Am I available? Sure. We leave on the 26th, just an FYI. I think I'm free pretty much every Wednesday in January until the 27th. Or I can't. I don't have a calendar. Oh, there I do, right there. I got get a new calendar until 28th. Right? I just want to be a better person. And days like today, I mean, I come on here and share a bunch of negativity, and I don't feel like I'm a very good person, so I apologize. Kudos to you. Thank you for that. We'll see. We got to play Ole Miss now. We'll do a full rundown. Sunday we'll probably get into we'll definitely get into the college football chatter, the good and the bad. And of course, next Wednesday on the college football huddle for sure. And you saw that commercial with Kirk Cousins. Sonia, I know your stuff comes up now on the lead-in that I do for the show, but if you want to post if your show's on tonight, what time and where people can catch it, we'll be glad to post that for sure. Kirk may use sports clubs because he's cheap. It's possible. I mean, I should just be shaving my own head. I mean, I shouldn't even be getting a haircut at this point. Yeah, right. Anybody can figure it out. Awesome about your grands. Happy birthday to your bonus daughter. Thank you so much. She is wonderful, wonderful. I don't have a daughter. If I had a daughter, she is the epitome of what I would want one to be or want her to be. Yes, another cruise. We're off to the 26th, and we're back around, I don't know, the 13th of February. And we'll be going in July to Alaska. We'll take an Alaska cruise in July. A week before Sonia's birthday. Perfect timing. I'll text you. Perfect. Okay, good. Do me that. Do me that. Oh, I know I'm a good person. This is what these shows are for, actually. And this way I don't go kick the cat or, beat the neighbors. I get my venting out here, and then everybody else is safe from it. Oh, I tend to vent more than I don't. Yeah, there you go. We're going to wear as a show tonight. There you go. 9 p.m. tonight. Thank you. All things from a lady's perspective. And on YouTube, Prim and Proper Sports. So check out Sonia. Aren't you on with the boys tonight too, or do they do their own show? I don't even know anymore. Yes, let's do that. I swear to God, I've been so busy through these holidays. I don't know how I found time to work. The more time I have, the less time I have. Because I think, you know what's the worst? The worst part about retiring is I procrastinate worse than I did when I worked. It's always tomorrow. Anyway, back to some baseball. Here it is. We're 36 minutes into the show. All I've done is bitch and moan. Let's look at it free. I want to talk some WBC, by the way, in a little bit. But just real quick, let's go through some of the free agents that are still out there. And who signed, I guess. Catchers. JT Realmuto's still out there. I think he resigns with the Phillies, quite frankly. Victor Caratini is still out there. Danny Jansen signed with Texas on the 15th. Kristen Vasquez still out there. James McCann signed a one-year deal. Those are the top guys. Nobody else I'm really going to talk about. Pete Alonso, as we know, signed a big deal with Baltimore, and the Mets replaced him with Polanco, who's never played an inning at first base. See how that works out. Josh Naylor, who I think is the best first baseman that was available this year. Mets and Yankees both didn't get a chance to get in here because Seattle wrapped him up right after the World Series was over on a 5-year deal. Josh Naylor, 29 years old, in the prime of his career. Ryan O'Hearn, as we said, signed with Pittsburgh. Other than that, I mean, Goldschmidt's probably going to retire, although he hasn't officially made an announcement. If you need a first baseman, you're not going to get a first baseman who's any good. Not through the free agent market. Gleyber Torres resigned, accepted a qualifying offer actually from Detroit. He'll be playing on a one-year deal. Will Castro still out there. Polanco signed with the Mets, although he's not going to play second base. He's going to play first base. And Iglesias still out there. Dylan Moore, nice utility player, still out there. Armand Rosario re-signed with the Yankees. I like that. He may be, and the Yankees also made another trade for a right-hand hitting first baseman out of the, not a trade, but a free agent acquisition out of the Mexican League. He hits right-handed, but you'll probably see a lot of Rosario at first base when lefties pitch, if in fact he doesn't end up having to play third base. Yankees hopefully are going to get Bichette and make him the third baseman. Or maybe he becomes the shortstop. I don't know. But those are the guys left there. Miguel Rojas for the shortstop signed. Bo Bichette's still out there. Kim signed a one-year deal with Atlanta. IKF is still out there. Alex Bregman, Eugenio Suarez still out there among the third basemen. Paul DeJong. It's a big drop after the first couple of guys on all of these. Kiki Hernandez, who can't play at all except in postseason for the Dodgers. So maybe he should just stay home until, October. In the outfield and left fielders, Rob Refsnyder, really surprising to me, signed a fairly decent contract with the Seattle. 1 year, though. Miguel Andujar is still out there. I know Chris Evgrave has brought him up a few times. I think Miguel Andujar is a capable bat, especially against left-handed pitching. Austin Hayes is still out there. Yankees have had some interest in him. Jesse Winkler, Michael Conforto had a horrible year last year. Cody Bellinger's still out there. As I said, Harrison Bader. There's the big drop. Yankees, by the way, gave Grisham a $22 million qualifying offer, and he took it. I'm not happy about this. Cedric Mullins signs with Tampa Bay. We talked about Blade signing with Cincinnati, 1 year deal. Leonard Trevera signs with Baltimore. Michael Tucker's still out there. Yastrzemski signs with Atlanta. And then it's funny when Max Talkman is the next guy we're going to talk about. Wow. Ozuna, Andrew McCutchen, if he comes back, he's 39 years old. If he comes back, it's probably going to be with the Pirates. Starting pitchers still out there, we said, Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez. Nick Martinez, 35 years old. Michael King, I really wanted the Yankees to go revisit Michael King. He got a 3-year deal from San Diego. And some other guys who returned to their other teams. Merrill Kelly did go back to Arizona after being traded at midseason. Relievers, they're all locked up, guys. David Robertson's the best guy available at 41. So there you have it. I'm going to switch to the WBC now, but what do we got here? Did I miss a lot of comments? Where did I leave off? How safe is the Sunday ass this week? What? How safe is the Sunday ass this week? As safe as it can be, I guess, Rick. I'm not sure what that means. There's so many shows and sites. I wish we had one list planner. I know. Some of the shows are a lot of the shows that are on. And I have posted the video a couple of times, and I use it as part of the open now. The shows that are on the McGrath streaming podcast, I'm going to call it network. Because, again, this is not – I am part of the McGrath. That's why I like the project, quite frankly. And, again, it's not a huge deal. I'm not saying it's a problem. This is TGI Sports Talk, and I broadcast as part of the McGrath streaming podcast project. I'm still going to use that. They come on Friday. It's, oh my God, it's Friday. It is Friday. I know. 8 years and 1 month from retiring. It'll go fast, believe me. Phillies have to re-sign JT. I agree. First base is horribly weak. Once Alonso and Naylor were off the market, there's nothing there. The Yankees had to go to the Mexican League to get a right-handed complement to Ben Rice. And the Mets had to sign Polanco to play first, where he has never played an inning. Contreras, by the way, is better DH than anything. His position should be batter. Leave your glove at home. I just spit all over the place. God, I'm having a hard time. Agreed, Paul. The Red Sox should just roll with Casas versus Contreras. You need defense. But, teams are sacrificing defense in a lot of places. I don't know what the Orioles plan with Alonso is, but if they're smart, he'll DH at least half the time because the guys like Dave Kingman over there. I get a lot of grief for comparing Alonso to Dave Kingman, but I'm sorry. Look at their careers. Kingman was a better player than people give him credit for, but he struck out 100 times, couldn't field. Alonso's much better with the press. Contreras can hit. And that tells you how much movement there's been, a lack of movement, and what it's been like, right? That we spend this much time talking about Contreras. Grisham was very smart to take the offer. He wasn't getting $22 million or anything close to $22 million everywhere. I guarantee you this much. If he hits, he's not going to hit 30 home runs again. I'd be shocked if he hits 20 home runs again. The guy had hit about 20 home runs for his whole career. Or 30 home runs for his whole career. Now, I'm probably exaggerating, so please don't hold me to that. I'm trying to make a point. He's not hitting 30 home runs again. Maybe in Yankee Stadium he comes close because of the dimensions, but it also makes him a worse hitter overall because now if you watch him, he's up there swinging like Volpe. Doesn't matter whether it's 1-0 or 0-2. Doesn't matter if there's men on base. Let's just swing from our balls of our feet. I would rather have Harrison Bader too. Problem with Bader is he can't stay healthy. I love the energy that Bader brings. I like his attitude. He's a really good defensive player when he's healthy. Can hit a little bit. He's not going to hit with that type of power, but I don't need that. You know what I want on my team, my baseball team? This will shock you. Baseball players. How about that? Guys who know how to play the game, how to play the game in different situations. Situational baseball is still a part of baseball. I know teams ignore it, but let me just fill you in. Situational baseball is still important. And the teams that pay at least a modicum of attention to it, they do well. Bader has not signed that I'm aware of. Let me just double check. Paul. To my knowledge, Harrison Bader is still a free agent. That's funny. According to, well, he's still a free agent. Oh, wait a minute. This is a day ago. This is why I don't trust any of these sources, right? So the same source, Paul. This is why I always tell people, be careful before you post stuff on social media or whatever. The same source says Harrison Bader signs with the Tigers 1 day ago. And 2 hours ago, it says Yankees will sign Harrison Bader. Don't trust anybody. Let me get some news on Harrison Bader. So I don't know where he is. This article I can find today, I'm not even going to share it. He's a free agent until further notice. I'm not going to share this news. You tell me again, so be careful. That's what I'm telling you, Paul. The same source you may have seen he signed with the Tigers is today saying he's going to sign with the Yankees. Oh, Shrek. I don't call him Shrek. Other guys call him Shrek. Tim Dragula. I'm trying to get, he's a Canes fan too, the bastard. Look at my mouth today. What was that comment you made? What was it? Hell, how safe is this Sunday ass? He comes in now. Lately, and again, here I am. I'm going to get myself sued by this guy if he ever turns on the show. He comes in with a girl that we think he kidnapped, by the way. They're somehow shackled together. And I think it's like a Stockholm syndrome thing where she just meekly follows him out. But he's very quiet. And I think because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself because this woman is obviously being held against her will, along with probably other women in his basement would be my guess. So I better not say his name again. Thank you, Rick. Oh, God, I'm so bad. Hello, JB from the Back It Up a Binge podcast. Year of the O's is underway. Listen, I like what the Orioles have done. Big splash with Alonso, some little splashes elsewhere. You've got kids. Listen, Gunnar Henderson's going to have a better year. Jackson Holliday's going to have a better year. Who's the second baseman, third baseman that I love with that team? His name's escaping me. Help me out, JB. You know who I'm talking about. He's going to have a better year after being injured a lot last year. Listen, I like the Orioles. I really do. Not sure about the manager because I don't know the manager well, but we'll see how that works out. The Orioles already have a DH. The Boleros kid, they're playing softball with Ward and the rest of the outfield. I'm not really excited about Turner Ward, but, I like what Baltimore's done. Not defensively, but, again, you got a core kids the way that they have with, God, what is that guy's name? Henderson and Holiday. I mean, I like them a lot. Orioles still have Mountcastle at first base. Well, not anymore because Alonso's playing there. Another trade. Yeah. Well, are you going to get much for Mountcastle or any of these guys? And they're just pieces, so I guess you can get other equally good or equal pieces, if you will. But I like what they're doing. Today's game's all about Weaver. 3-run dingers, batting average means nothing anymore. Agreed. You know, people talk about Tony La Russa ruining baseball. Earl Weaver was doing what Tony La Russa did, not so much with pitchers, but with platooning and analytics. The guy had, JB, you know this as an Oriole fan. Now, if you haven't read, I think it's The Last Manager. I think we might have talked about this, JB. I wish I had my Kindle. I believe it was The Last Manager. And it's about Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver really was a leader in analytics. Not the guys like Tony La Russa, who gets a blame for a lot of this stuff. I guess mostly for the pitching analytics. But Weaver had analytics. He had index cards about every player in every league and his tendencies and his own players and the opponents. He platooned more than anybody. And he was into 3-run home runs and never giving up an out because in his mind, the analytics said you didn't ever give up outs. Which, again, you know what? For the most part, I agree with, depending on the situation. And Earl Weaver would bunt when it mattered. I mean, if you got the men on first and second, nobody out in a 0-0 game in the ninth inning and Mark Belanger's up, you're bunting. But I believe it's The Last Manager. Check it out, JB. One Tough Out. That's a good one. I'll check. I think I came across that, and I haven't downloaded it yet. I'm reading actually, I'll find the weirdest books, right? I'm reading a book right now about the 1971 Astros. That's the baseball book I'm reading. I'm also reading a nonfiction book, which is about a nuclear war that took place in 1975. So it's historical fiction, if you will. So there's a lot of real people that are in this book. It's really interesting and very dark. And then I'm also reading a biography. I'm rereading, actually, Theodore Rex. If you haven't read Theodore Rex, highly recommend it. It's about Teddy Roosevelt. Hello, AC. Good to have you with us. For the Yankees, I want Mickey Rivers. Seriously, just play. I want Nettles. Nettles is my guy, man. I don't know if I'd put Rivers in there, man, because Rivers would beg out of the lineup a lot. But Nettles and O'Neill, 100%. 100%. I love those Yankee teams. They were gamers. Michael, as you say. Nettles is my guy. Bobby Mercer's my number one Yankee of all time. My number one Yankee of that 78, 79, 80, I'm sorry, 76 through, well, Nettles came here in 73, 74. But Nettles was my guy. Munson was right there as well, obviously. But Bobby will all be my guy. You have to check. I mean, don't trust things like this TWSN Sports, by the way, which, Paul, you may very well have seen the news about the Tigers and Bader, because that's who reported it yesterday, that he signed with the Tigers yesterday. Today they say he's going to sign with the Yankees. Can't trust it. There's another one out there that's like Spica or I'd have to see it now to remember what the name of it is, because I ignore it. And I so often see people post news from it and it's not real. What you have to do is just Google the name, click on news, and see if there's something from NBC, CBS, ESPN, whatever. Somebody reliable. And a couple of sources too. You have to, or you end up looking silly. No problem coming in late. Bo Bichette is not signed, and the Yankees are hoping to sign him as well. Oh, by the way, I would love to see the Yankees get either the guy you're not going to sign in Bregman or Bo Bichette. Supposedly, Bichette, this is 2 weeks ago when we last did a show. Bo Bichette was going to resign with the Blue Jays and still hasn't happened. The news was that was imminent. So that's how, again, we talked about it, AC, near the top of the show. And I think this hot stove has been cold, as Michael said. And I believe it's because of the labor uncertainty. Westberg, thank you, Michael. There you go. JB got it to me. Cowser, too. That's another good one. I like Westberg a lot. Last year wasn't quite his year, as he did fight some injuries and such. Yeah, you read The Last Manager? It is a great book. 1979. 1979, that left field platoon was as good as any left field in baseball that year. I mean, Earl had a knack. I'm not knocking Earl for using the analytics. He didn't use them. Here's the thing. And I get a bad reputation about being against analytics, and I am when you rely on them solely and don't use your gut. Earl Weaver also managed with his gut. Analytics would take you so far, but in certain game situations, your gut's got to tell you what to do. Mark Belanger was a hero around here where I grew up for a while. Belanger was a great player, great shortstop. Defensively, great player. Couldn't hit it way out of a paper bag. He had like one decent offensive year that I can remember in his lifetime. JB would have a better read on that, but yeah. See, and again, I don't know what their new managers are going to do, JB. But these managers, and Boone does it. You cannot just live blindly by analytics. You can't. If you don't have a feel for the game, and too many managers don't have a feel for the game, what are you going to do? It's getting a little late in the show, but I wanted to touch on the WBC. Again, you're going to hear me talk about the WBC for a long time now, or a lot, I should say, because it's right around the corner, and we have got a really good contingent coming from the USA so far. Right now, so far, these teams consist, and I'll give you some of the guys that are playing on some of the other teams too. The pitchers for the USA: Bednar, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean, Mason Miller, Joe Ryan, Paul Skeens, Skubal, Logan Webb. That's a pretty good start to his staff. The catchers are Cal Rowley and Will Smith. Infielders: Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang from the Brewers, Bobby Witt Jr. In the outfield, you got Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber can be your DH. And I love this coaching staff. Mark DeRosa did a great job last time, I think. Was a lot of rumors he was going to get the Braves job, which would have probably ended this stint, but he did not get that job, so he will be managing USA again. The pitching coach is Andy Pettit. Matt Halliday's the hitting coach. First base coach is George Lombard, former Yankee prospect. Third base coach Dino Abell. Bullpen coach David Ross, former manager. And the assistant managers, Freddie Gonzalez, former manager. Brian McKeon, Michael Young, probably future managers, by the way. Some of the other guys playing around the globe, all from Australia. Travis, these are major leaguers across the globe. Travis Bazana and Liam Hendricks will be on Australia's team. The Dominican Republic has Junior Caminero, which could change. Again, all of these could be more additions to these. I would be shocked if the Latin American countries, for instance, did not add more major leaguers as we go forward. Israel, the previously mentioned Harrison Bader will be playing for Israel. Dean Creamer, as we speak about Orioles or former Orioles. Garrett Stubbs. For Italy, Vinny Pasquantino. Japan, of course, Ohtani will be playing for Japan. For Mexico, Randy Arozarena and Jarren Duran from the Red Sox. Mark Vientos will play for Nicaragua. Francisco Lindor will play for Puerto Rico. Valenzuela will have Salvador Perez. And I think you'll see those Latin American countries have more MLB players as we go forward. I'm a big proponent of this tournament. I love it. I don't care that it interrupts spring training. Hopefully it gives me a little something to, spring training might be locked out. These might be the only guys getting in shape. I don't want to hear about injuries. I don't want to hear about anything. Go play for your flag and show some pride. And that's what these guys do. They don't get paid. If you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. Guys bring up Edwin Diaz a couple of years ago, or the last WBC, I guess, 4 years ago. Don't care. Go play for your country. Anyway, analytics are fine for the regular season. No, they're not. I mean, they're okay for part of games in a regular season, AC. You can't use them in every situation. Because if you can't just avoid bunting for the sake of not giving up an out when the situation obviously calls for bunting. Like in the regular season, in the 10th inning, when you put a man on second base with nobody out, nobody bunts him to third. Nobody. Billy Martin must be rolling over in his grave or having another shot in hell, wherever Billy might be. No. Sure, Billy Martin Jr. was a great interview, and I feel bad I said that now, Billy. But still, bunt. Give up outs. You can't get a guy in from third base with nobody out, with one out. You don't belong in baseball. That's situational baseball. First of all, get rid of that rule in the first place and play real extra inning games, and then maybe I won't have so much to bitch about. Sorry, AC. It's the mood I've been in long before you got here. So go play. Go play for your country. So I like seeing these superstars playing for the U.S. Look at the names I gave you. Some of the biggest names in baseball: Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Cal Raleigh, Skeens, Kubel. Have some pride. You're beyond out of control. No feel for the game. And AC, you need feel for the game, even in the regular season. I didn't read the rest of your comments, so I apologize. I feel bad. But for the players, especially Game 7 or win, go. But the thing is, here's the thing, AC. If you don't manage that way during the regular season and all the time, then you got no gut when it comes to Game 7 in a win-or-go-home situation. You don't have any feel for the game because all you did was what the book told you to do. Oh, I got my book right here. And if I look here on page 62, it says, oh, this guy's throwing he doesn't pitch in the 8th inning. Oh, we don't bunt because analytics say if you get a – shut up. UAC. TJ Sportswalker was fun and insightful interview. Billy said, but you know what? It took me forever because if you remember, Billy Jr. was a no-show like twice. But once I got him on, he was really engaging and a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that interview, Rick. And I know I should do more. I'll leave that to the JBs of the world. They're younger than me. I don't have the energy to go chase these guys around right now. I just don't. I don't know what it is. But hello, Ralph. As I mentioned, check out Ralph Williams' stuff over at RW Media. We're going to get out of here in a minute, but check out Ralph and Smoking Jim Frazier on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern with the Sports Corner and everything else Ralph does over there at RW Media. Ralph's got a lot of irons in the fire. If there's anything you want to mention, Ralph feels free to do that before I say goodbye. AC's going to explain to me again why I should pay attention to analytics. Well, the manager should be explaining we're saving every what? The manager should be explaining or saving our best shots for when it matters the most. We're not going to do it every single time we're in this situation in the middle of June. The idea is to win games. You can't win games without. I'm not sure. I'm not. We're on different wavelengths, I think, here. You're welcome, Ralph. We're on different wavelengths for some reason, AC. I don't know what it is. But the games matter in June as well. And you're not giving anything away when you have an obvious bunt situation, or you have an obviously hit and run situation. And you don't do it because, well, we don't want to take a chance of giving up an out. Outs are precious. There's only 27 of them. No. Younger but not better. Thank you, Rick. I don't think that's meant at you, JB, by the way. I think that means in general. And listen, I appreciate Rick's thoughts. Rick really wants me to get back into doing it. And I might, Rick. Trying to get myself settled and caught up. I'm enjoying life too much right now to commit to more. And if I do it, it's going to be on a much less. It's not going to be a weekly thing because it's just too hard to get guys, and guys don't show up. Again, Billy Martin Jr. was a great interview, but Jesus Christ, I spent hours and hours chasing him around. Then he doesn't show up 2 times. Again, things happen, and Billy was very apologetic and whatnot, and I liked him a lot. We had a good rapport, had a lot of fun, but my time was wasted. I've only got X amount of time left. I don't want to waste it. Well, first of all, you're a Red Sox fan because there's no way you're right. Second of all, it's very funny though. Well, yeah, there's a place for analytics. Again, the problem is I tend to go way overboard against the analytics, AC. I got too many guys who go by their initials here. And I'm not that good with the alphabet because I went to Perth. Kidding. The problem, AC, is I tend to go way towards against analytics because of the way 90% of the managers out there do nothing except see what's in their little book of index cards, and that's what I'm going to do here, and that's how I'm going to make my move. And but just found a winning ticket. Maybe I should be looking in this book more. No, yes, there's a balance. There's a place to use it. It's not until the end of the season. There are situations in nearly every game that call for you to do something with your gut and not what's written in a book someplace by a guy living in his basement. Oh, that's Basement Bob. See you Sunday, buddy. Hope I don't see Shrek then. If I was the manager, I'd want the other manager wondering if I'll bunt or steal or not. Well, yes. Again, I'm not saying you bunt every time there's a guy on first base and nobody out. I'm not talking about that. So I think we're probably more on the same wavelength, AC, than we think, or I think, or you think, or anybody thinks. But here's the thing. If you just go by the same analytics everybody else goes against, I know what they're going to do. I'm going to swing for a 3-run homer every single time. What it can't be is 3 true outcomes have got to go away, right? Walk, home run, strikeout. Got to go. Have a feel for the game and know when it's time to hit and run because of the way they're positioned. Hit the ball the other way. Play a little bit of situational baseball, whether you're a hitter, whether you're a fielder. And if these guys are too stupid to learn it, actually, we don't have coaches that are smart enough to teach it. Because the minute these kids get to probably college now, not even the minor leagues, they're being taught no fundamental baseball. None. That's totally different. Please, you can't compare poker to baseball, AC. You can't do that. That's a totally, I mean, you should be playing analytics. Poker is nothing but analytics and math and odds. That's all it is. Right? And let everyone at the table see. Well, again, and you're going to do things, you're going to make moves today. I get it. You're going to make moves now. All right, there's strategy involved in both sports. Again, it's sports. I can't call poker a sport. No. I don't know why. I'm in a mood today, AC. Don't take it personally. Bad attitude. Or we were still played situational baseball. He's famous for his 3-run homer, but he's still, yes, and not just in the World Series. Again, you got Belanger up with men on first and second, and nobody out, and nobody on the bench to pinch hit for him. You're not going to do anything except bunt if it's 0-0 in ninth inning. That's all I'm talking about. Obvious stuff. And that's the problem. You cannot apply math 100% or even 75% of the time in baseball and have it work. It doesn't. Or any sport. The analytics in football say you go for 2 every time. Every time. You would come out ahead. But you have to do it every time. You can't just pick and choose your times to do it. And again, if we're just going to play baseball with math and analytics, I'll go watch poker rather than baseball if we're just going to do math and analytics. Because watching baseball play with math and analytics is the most boring thing I've ever watched in my entire life. Relatively speaking. When it comes to winning in poker, I'm really not talking about poker. I'm talking about baseball. I'm talking about sports. Analytics work better in a place like poker than they do on a baseball field. They just do. I can't explain it because I graduated from Perth and I don't have the ability to do better than what I'm doing right now. And I hear somebody banging on my floor, so I'm going to guess my granddaughter is here, and I'm going to have to go now. Don't take it personally. Analytics in football say go 4th down every time. Seriously, I know it does, and it's stupid. Game situations matter. Yeah, but again, you can't. I get it. Now I'm in an argument or a discussion. I'm not arguing. I'm in a debate about whether poker and baseball are the same. I'll give you they are. I'll give you they are. Then you shouldn't use analytics in poker as much as you do either. That'll be the end of my story. I got to run, guys, because the granddaughters are here. It's been fun. AC, we'll pick it up another time, I promise you. I'll be up. See you guys on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. At 8 a.m. too. So, bye-bye.